"Dad, why are you holding the remote upside down again?" He laughed, shrugged, but deep down, he felt it. The change, the slipping, not just in his hands, but in his world. He didn't fall off a cliff. He just faded, inch by inch. And that's how it starts. After 80, your body and mind send signals you can't control. You may ignore them. You may pretend you're fine. But these 5 things will find you, whether you're ready or not. Welcome, my beautiful story family. If this moment stirred something inside you, don't just scroll past. Lean in. Like this video if you believe aging deserves respect, not silence. Subscribe so you never miss stories that speak truth and protect dignity. Share this with someone who needs to hear it before it's too late. And please drop a comment telling us where you're watching from. Let's remind the world that every voice, every story, and every year still matters. Let's start with the first emotional truth that hit after 80. You start disappearing, even if you're still here. After 80, people may stop seeing you, even when you're sitting right in front of them. It doesn't happen overnight. No doors slam, no lights go out. But one day, you're at a family dinner, and no one asks what you think. They're laughing, talking, planning vacations, and you're just there. You smile, nod. But inside, something cracks. Am I part of this? Or am I just being tolerated? That's what disappearing feels like. Not physically. You're alive. You're breathing. You're sitting at the table. But your words don't land. Your thoughts don't matter. You become invisible in plain sight. And that's when it begins, the mask of politeness. People rarely say it out loud. No one tells you. We don't care what you think. But their actions say it for them. They talk over you when you speak. They make decisions for you, not with you. They assume you don't want to be included, so they stop inviting you. They change the subject when you try to share a memory or opinion. They laugh awkwardly when you ask them to repeat something, as if you're the problem. Slowly, you retreat, not because you want to, because you're tired of shouting into silence. Why this happens? Aging brings physical changes, gray hair, slower steps, quieter voices. But it also changes how others see you. Our culture praises youth, speed, and constant movement. When you reach 80, people stop expecting you to lead or speak with authority. They associate age with weakness, not wisdom. And even though you've lived through wars, births, deaths, heartbreak, and miracles, you're treated like your thoughts are outdated or irrelevant. But they're not. They're rooted in lived truth, something no 25-year-old can fake. So what are the risks of emotional isolation? This kind of social fading doesn't just hurt your feelings. It can be mentally and physically harmful. Studies show that when older adults feel invisible or ignored, they are more likely to suffer from depression, anxiety, sleep problems, lower immune response, faster cognitive decline, a shortened lifespan. You're not just fading socially, you're fading biologically. Because the brain needs connection the way the body needs oxygen. Without it, something inside begins to shut down. What can be done? This isn't just a warning. It's a wake-up call for you and the people around you. 1. Speak up, even if no one asks. Your words carry weight. Don't wait to be invited. 2. Ask questions. Get involved. Be part of the planning, not just the listening. 3. Tell your family how you feel. Many don't realize they're leaving you out. Sometimes all it takes is one honest conversation. 4. Surround yourself with people who see you. Friends, clubs, community groups, spiritual centers, where your voice matters. 5. Refuse to shrink. If you're still breathing, your story still matters. Don't let the world lower your volume. You're not fading. You're being ignored. And there's a difference. So when they forget to ask, remind them who you are. Say it louder. Say it proudly. Because you're still here. And you deserve to be seen. Number 2, your body stops asking for permission. After 80, your body doesn't whisper anymore. It acts. One day, you're reaching for a cup of tea, and your hand trembles. You laugh it off. Maybe you say, "I'm just tired today." But deep down, you know something's different. It's not just age. It's your body doing things without checking in with you first. The shift happens quietly. You used to walk for miles. Now your knees burn after 2 steps. You once danced without thinking. Now you grip the railing before you even stand. Your body, once full of confidence, now hesitates before every move. You don't get to decide when your balance slips. You don't choose when your bladder sends urgent signals at the worst time. You don't plan for the stiffness in your fingers that turns buttons into puzzles. It just happens. Without asking. Without warning. So why is this more than just getting old? Most people assume this is normal. Of course you're slower. You're 80. But these changes are deeper than just moving slower. They reflect real shifts in how your body works. Muscle loss, sarcopenia, starts to reduce strength and stability. Nerve signals slow down, affecting reaction time. Joint cartilage wears thin, making movement painful. Bladder muscles weaken, leading to urgency or incontinence. Hands and fingers lose dexterity, making everyday tasks harder. These aren't just inconveniences. They are daily reminders that your body is doing things on its own terms now. And if you don't adapt, you risk injury, embarrassment, or worse. So, what are the hidden emotional costs? What most people don't talk about is how this affects your spirit. You start to feel nervous about leaving the house. You avoid long walks, social outings, or overnight stays. You hesitate before saying yes to anything that used to be easy. And slowly, fear replaces freedom. You stop doing things not because you can't, but because you're afraid your body will betray you. That's the real danger, not just the physical decline, but the shrinking of your world. So here is how to take back some control. You may not be able to stop aging, but you can learn how to live smarter with it. 1. Talk to your doctor regularly. Get checked for balance, muscle strength, and medication side effects. 2. Move daily, even if it's slow. Walking, stretching, and light strength exercises help maintain control. 3. Modify your home. Grab bars, slip-proof mats, raised seats, small changes, big difference. 4. Do hand and finger exercises. Improve grip strength to stay independent with buttons, zippers, and utensils. 5. Be honest about your limits. Don't fake wellness. Adapt with grace, not shame. You've trusted your body your whole life. It served you through pain, joy, storms, and silence. Now that it's slowing down, it doesn't mean it's broken. It means it's asking you to pay attention. So when your hand shakes or your knees lock, don't be ashamed. Listen, adjust, and move forward, carefully, proudly, powerfully. Because even if your body stops asking for permission, your will still decides what happens next. Number 3, your world gets smaller, room by room. You don't even notice it until one day your entire life fits inside 4 walls. At 80, the world doesn't suddenly vanish. But it does start to shrink, quietly, gently, without warning. You stop driving at night. Too many headlights, too much confusion. Soon, you're not driving at all. Someone else takes the keys, just to be safe, they say. Then you stop going to church every week. The stairs are too steep, the pews too hard. You tell yourself, I'll watch the service on TV instead. And then comes the moment when even walking to the mailbox feels like a journey. Not because of the distance, but because of the fear. Fear of falling, fear of forgetting, fear of not finding your way back. And suddenly, you're in the same chair, same room, same routine, every single day. The physical world shrinks first. This isn't just about aging. It's about environmental collapse. Your world physically gets smaller because 1. Driving becomes stressful or dangerous due to slower reflexes and fading eyesight. 2. Hearing loss makes loud places overwhelming. 3. Joint pain or mobility issues make long walks exhausting. 4. Medication side effects increase dizziness or fatigue. Your body creates invisible fences. And to stay safe, you start saying no to life. But safety can become a cage. Then the emotional world follows. As you step away from the outside, the inside shrinks too. Fewer people visit. Fewer events are marked. Fewer stories are shared. You used to plan trips. Now you count naps. You used to open the door for neighbors. Now do you hope the phone doesn't ring? Because even conversations feel tiring. And here's the truth no one wants to admit. You didn't just stop going places. People stopped inviting you. Not out of cruelty, but out of assumption. They assume you can't. They assume you won't. They assume you're done. The risk of a shrinking life. Isolation isn't just lonely, it's lethal. Studies show that social isolation after 80 increases the risk of depression, cognitive decline, falls, heart disease, early death. When your world shrinks, your spirit can shrink too. And that's something no doctor can prescribe a pill for. So, what can you do about it? Even if your physical space is smaller, your life doesn't have to be. 1. Create connection daily. A phone call, a video chat, a shared lunch. Small things keep the heart open. 2. Invite people in. If you can't go out, let life come to you. Grandkids, neighbors, community groups. 3. Use mobility tools with pride. Walkers, scooters, hearing aids. They're not signs of weakness. They're tools of freedom. 4. Set tiny goals. Water the plants. Write a letter. Sit on the porch. Even simple tasks expand your sense of control. 5. Speak up. Tell your family, I still want to be included. Don't decide for me. Ask me. The world doesn't shrink all at once. It happens slowly, quietly, until you forget how big it used to feel. But here's the truth. You may not be able to move through the world like you once did. But that doesn't mean you don't belong in it. You're still here. So keep the doors open. Keep the windows wide. And let life back in, room by room. Number 4, you grieve the living before they're gone. They're breathing, they're talking, but something about them is already gone. At 80, grief doesn't always wait for death. Sometimes it walks into the room while the person is still sitting there. They smile at you, but the eyes that once lit up with recognition now blink blankly. You say, "It's me, your daughter," and they nod politely, like you're a stranger at the bus stop. That's when the real grieving begins, because now you're not mourning the body, you're mourning the disappearance of the person inside. This is the grief no one prepares you for. Most people understand how to mourn someone who has passed. There's a funeral, a eulogy, a period of sorrow. But when the body remains and the spirit seems to fade, there's no ceremony, no goodbye, just confusion. This happens when people you love develop dementia or Alzheimer's, experience stroke-related memory loss, suffer from advanced mental or cognitive decline, or simply grow distant due to age-related changes in personality or awareness. You're looking at them, but it feels like they've already left. And that's a kind of heartbreak no one warns you about. This is what it feels like. This grief is slow. It's lonely. It's confusing. You may feel guilty for feeling sad when the person is technically still alive, angry that they changed or don't act like themselves, lost because you don't know how to love someone who no longer recognizes you, numb because you've had to say goodbye without a moment to say it out loud. You're living in a space where every visit feels like a farewell. You tell them old stories, hoping to spark something. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. And every time they forget again, it's like losing them all over again. The silent impact on the caregiver. Grieving the living is not just emotional, it's exhausting, especially for those acting as caregivers. You become nurse, translator, protector, memory keeper, all while pretending everything's okay. This kind of grief can lead to chronic stress, depression, fatigue, burnout, emotional detachment. It's hard to care for someone who doesn't remember your face, but still needs your hands. How to cope with this kind of loss? You may not be able to stop the decline, but you can learn how to survive it emotionally. 1. Accept that both things can be true. They are still here, and they are also fading. It's okay to feel both love and sadness. 2. Find support. Join a caregiver group. Talk to a counselor. Don't carry this alone. 3. Celebrate small sparks. A smile, a word, a moment of clarity. Let those be your wins. 4. Keep their dignity intact. Even if they forget who they are, you don't. Speak to them with love, not pity. 5. Create new rituals. If the old relationship is changing, build a new one. Even silence can be shared with love. You don't just grieve people when they die. Sometimes you grieve them while they're still breathing. But grief doesn't mean you stop loving them. It means you're loving what's left with everything you have. So even when the memories fade, let your presence say what words can't. You may not remember me, but I remember you, and I always will. Number 5, your memories begin to slip, and you can't hold them still. They don't disappear all at once. They fade, like morning fog. At 80, forgetting becomes a part of life. You enter a room and forget why. You search for a word, and it dances just out of reach. You see a familiar face, but can't recall the name. You laugh it off. Senior moment, you say. But inside, a quiet fear starts to grow. What if one day I forget everything? So this is when the mind starts to unravel. Memory loss after 80 isn't always sudden or severe. It begins with small lapses, misplacing keys, forgetting birthdays, mixing up dates or names, repeating the same question, losing track of time. At first, it feels harmless, but slowly those cracks spread. And what used to feel sharp and reliable starts to feel like sand slipping through your fingers. This is often part of what doctors call age-related cognitive decline, which can include slower processing speed, short-term memory loss, trouble with concentration, difficulty learning new things. These are not signs of failure. They are normal changes in the aging brain, but they can still be scary because they chip away at the part of you that makes you feel like you. These are emotional costs of forgetting. Memory isn't just about facts or dates. It's about identity. Your memories are your life's evidence. The proof that you loved, lived, struggled, laughed, and mattered. So when those memories start to slip, even a little, you may feel embarrassed in conversations, anxious in unfamiliar places, ashamed when you forget someone's name, scared that your independence is fading. Worse, you may begin to question your own mind. Am I losing it? Is this how it starts? What if I forget my own children? That fear doesn't always speak out loud, but it lives behind your smile, behind every nervous laugh, behind the note you write to yourself just in case. Not all memory loss means dementia. It's important to understand. Forgetfulness is not the same as dementia. Occasional memory lapses are common with age. Dementia, including Alzheimer's disease, involves progressive and severe impairment of memory, judgment, and behavior. If memory loss starts affecting daily life, getting lost, forgetting major appointments, trouble managing money or hygiene, it's time to see a doctor. Early intervention can make a major difference. How to protect your brain and keep memories alive. You may not stop memory loss completely, but you can take steps to slow it down and stay sharp. 1. Keep your brain active. Puzzles, reading, learning, and social interactions stimulate memory. 2. Stay physically active. Movement increases blood flow to the brain. 3. Prioritize sleep and nutrition. A well-rested brain is a stronger brain. 4. Limit alcohol and avoid smoking. These speed up cognitive decline. 5. Talk about your fears. You are not alone. Millions feel the same but suffer in silence. In summary, you are not your memory. You are your presence, your love, your impact. So if your memories begin to slip, hold on to what matters most: your voice, your joy, your truth. And if one day you forget the world, make sure the world never forgets you. Because even if your mind forgets, your life still speaks. In summary, they may say it's just age. They may smile and call it normal. But you and I both know it's deeper than that. Your voice still matters. Your memories still matter. You still matter. So don't let these changes steal your dignity. Fight back with truth, with love, and with stories like this one. If this touched you, like this video to let the message rise. Subscribe to stay part of this powerful story family. Share it with someone who needs to see what aging really looks like. And comment below where you're watching from. Your voice might be the one that saves someone else. We're not fading. We're just getting louder.